right, if the market hits a record, let's say down 25,000, and the media isn't reporting it, did it really happen? The president has his concerns, tweeting that the fake news barely mentions the fact that the stock market just hit another record and that business in the U.S. is booming. But the people know. Can you imagine if, I think he's referring to President Barack Obama, was president and had these numbers, it would be the biggest story on earth, down now over 25,000. Does he have a point? Let's ask Generation Hexed. Fox News contributor Katherine Timpf. We've got Democratic strategist Starr Hopkins, internet radio host Gunzelman, who apparently didn't know we had a dress code here, and the Wall Street Times.
I look way more cozy.
Delicious. And the Wall Street Journal's Jillian Melchior. All right, Guns, the president, is he right that he's not getting fair treatment?
Yeah, I think he's absolutely right. I mean, if anything, the last year he's got a full year of examples showing that it's him against the media, it's also him against the world. And if anything, this is just another example of this media is obsessed with bringing Trump down. Whatever they can find.
Well, this book, once the first excerpt came out, right?
They're also obsessed with like naughty stories, and there's a lot of naughty stories in this book.
Yeah.
So I think that, yes, he is absolutely right. And if this were President Obama, it would be wall-to-wall coverage. However, there was a lot less banana stuff going on when Obama was president, regardless of whose fault that is.
But at the same time, I wouldn't be rushing to take credit for the stock market because it's inherently volatile. And if you're going to end up taking
there is a danger in that, but
if you want to get the praise for it, you're going to end up getting the guilt for it and the blame for it.
Well, maybe you will if it goes south. You raise a good point.
But the thing is, even before this book came out,
but he is fair. He doesn't, and maybe he steps on his own. Talk about banana, and he steps on his own story here. But is there something to the fact he doesn't get fair treatment?
I don't really think so. I mean, all the networks have been talking about how the Dow's doing, how the stock market's doing, but
you know, I watched them all yesterday because that's just what I do.
Yeah, see, there you
go. I'm not saying they totally ignored Dow 25,000, but it was an afterthought.
It wasn't the leading story, but I think a lot of that has to go towards the president, his tweeting habit, the stories, the palace intrigue. That's not something that happened under the Obama administration.
He could walk on water, and you'd report the next day he got his feet wet.
Yeah. I'd say he couldn't swim.
Meanwhile, is Apple now hackable? There was a day, and I'm old enough to remember this, where you bought an Apple product because it wasn't Windows, it wasn't IBM, and it was immune to these sort of things. In fact, resistant to them. So that was their appeal. Now it seems to be happening every other day. I'm wondering if it's lost its cachet.
Over Apple.
Really?
Yeah, I'm over it because the fact is it's been happening now for years now. Every time you upgrade your phone, it actually gets slower. There's now that lawsuit saying that the batteries were
deliberately do it.
Yeah, they're purposely doing it. And also the first quarter shipments, 50 million down to 30 million this year. People, I think there's a backlash against
By the way, that's a problem a lot of companies would love to have.
Right? 50 million to 30 million.
Lots of other good options. And I think they could maybe take a play from Google here if they're getting hacked. Be honest, be transparent about it. But then again, this is just another reminder, don't put anything in email you don't want people to see.
Well, it's a little late for that, Jillian.
Apple used to have the best product, though. And now Samsung, Google, they've caught up, and the customer service is
But no one's immune to this, though. No one's immune to this. I think that's the upshot.
I mean, I still have an Apple phone, but I'm not spending $1,000 for the new one.
The security risk, though, I mean, you have your Alexa, you have your smartphones, you have the facial recognition now. I don't trust any of it.
It's terrifying. I mean, no matter who you are,
someone so young.
No matter who you are, there's something embarrassing on your phone because we as humans are all embarrassing.
Absolutely.
So it should be scary. I want to say it's not scary. I want to say it's fine, whatever, so that way they won't hack me.
But I find it interesting that you obviously have a lot of embarrassing things on your phone.
I have nothing on my phone. Zero photos, zero emails, zero texts.
Meanwhile, a lot of people apparently are making New Year's resolutions, but how many people are actually keeping them? You might be surprised to hear this. Young people cheat first.
Oh.
Yeah. Well, I made a resolution to stop starting conversations with, isn't it crazy how we're all going to die? So that hasn't worked out very well.
That's good.
But if you need to make a resolution...
Probably was a real conversation starter.
Yeah, it also was a conversation ender. But I made a resolution before New Year's Eve that I quit vaping, actually, like the nicotine vapes. I quit it.
Wow.
And because you have to have a reason other than the date to actually quit. Like, my lungs were hurting, kinda.
Really?
So that, for me, was like a really good reason to kind of stick to it for the most part.
That's a good goal, a good resolution. I won't vape. Sure.
But the worst of the people that go, they say, oh, I'm going to go to the gym. I kept telling them, you're not going to go to the gym. Why? Because it was January 4th yesterday, and you have a cyclone bomb coming. Nobody was going to the gym.
Well, that did
can't go anywhere. Everyone's resolution's broken already. You're not going to the gym.
I think
you know how to do what I do. Make the best of what you have. This is like what I do. I just work out as I'm doing my job.
There you go.
You know? Yeah. You're jealous here, aren't you?
I'm so jealous. I said I was going to use Twitter less, and that's, no.
You need to define. You need to define the goal.
Mine's going super well. So this year I tried
day.
doing a soft launch of it because
Did you really?
it's all about getting your habits in line.
You're exactly right. Don't overdo. Don't make big
soft launch.
I did a
things.
soft launch 2 months in advance, so that
so
my
millennial.
goal would be like ready to go come New Year. It's really
that's
neurotic. It's
very
really tight, but it
interesting. But
works
I
out
was
great.
Incredibly pragmatic.
That's the problem is
I
you
can barely
want to
get
do big things, right?
Yeah.
If you want to lose, 50 pounds.
I'm working on Spanish fluency.
But the other part is, I hate the people like, oh, I'm going to be nicer this year. No, you're not. You're lying.
I am who
You're
I
going to
am.
be the worst ever.
Who makes a position? I'm going to be nicer.
Oh, I'm going to try to be nicer. I'm going to go out of my way more for people. A lot of
12% of Americans, actually. I happen to read the exact
To be nicer?
To be nice, yeah. And that's
ridiculous.
That's a lie.
This is your prepared
true.
moment.
This is my moment. I just read all the stats.
I love that the other 88% are like, I'm fine.
We are who we are.
Are you guys confident for the new year?
Yeah,
No, I mean, no.
No.
I'm pretty optimistic.
No, I mean,
Why are you not confident for the new year?
look at the
world
kind of
is
the
your oyster.
country's going in,
You're getting
I
a
think, a
tax
bad
cut,
direction.
everything
The tone's bad.
Yeah, the
You know, I think
$1,500.
millennials are going to have to save the country.
I don't like.
Oh, that's right, because I'm spending all the money in my
I don't like the first half of any year because it is so cold.
Amen to that.
Really?
The
The other
first
thing
half of the
You
year.
have a lot of issues.
Yeah, I do. But I'm not. At least I'm not vaping anymore.
No, you're not vaping. Maybe you should get back to vaping.
Maybe that was saving
Could
me
calm
the
you
whole
down a little
time.
bit, right?
Exactly. All right, and you're still with Willpower, working with IMIS and everything else?
My man.
You're
Yeah.
a man.
The
all
I
right.
man.
Very good. Thanks for dressing up. No, they are the best. They're all good people. Well, nice people right to begin with.
We try.
All right, we have a lot more coming up, including looking at reminders as if we need them, never to think you're all that, because it can end like this.